everybody, welcome to the Gaming Corner. My name is Matt, and today we are going to talk about a few things that I got for my birthday. Yes, my birthday was yesterday on the 21st of September. How old am I? Well, sheesh. If you ask my daughter, I'm an old man. I am not 60.
70?
Would you be... Now she's saying I'm 70. God. Okay, so here, I am half a century plus one. If you can't figure that out, that's not on me, that's on you. But yes, so my birthday was yesterday, and these are a few things that my family got me for my birthday. The first one to bring up is something really cool. My son and all them went in on this. It's something me and my son both have been looking at. If I say their name correctly, we'll be good. But it's a Displate picture, and he got me this beautiful X-Men one that is just fabulous looking. It's metal, which is nice, and it is just freaking great. It hangs on the wall behind me back there, which I will be putting back up soon. So that was there. And that is simply gorgeous. My son also picked up two for himself. I'll see if I can get some photos of those and put those on up. But he got one from The Witcher and one from Cyberpunk. I want that Witcher one. I'm going to have to order that one for myself. But yes, Displate. I'll have a link to their website down in the description. I'm not affiliated with them or anything like that, so I can't give you a discount or anything. But I will link them down in the description so you guys can go check them out if you've never looked into their stuff. Say they are a little expensive, but the stuff is so freaking nice looking. Now, the next thing we are going to talk about that the family got me for my birthday happens to be the Retron 5. Now, the Retron 5 here. A couple things I will say about this right away as I pop up some gameplay footage here from the Retron 5 is one, the controller that it gives you, the Super Nintendo one, is pretty much garbage. It's not great. I mean, it does work, but it's not a great controller. Definitely not as good as a regular Super Nintendo controller or even the 8-bit do. But at least you do get one if you need one, just that it's not the greatest. The other one is the actual controller it has, which, as we come out of gameplay footage here for a minute, is this ugly ass thing. This thing it works. I mean, I'll say that much, it does work, but it's really not great, but if you need something in a pinch, this does work. Now, a couple other things to bring up here as we bring back up some gameplay footage is, one, I love the filters on it. I love the way the game looks. I've been playing around with them, and I found a filter I like to use, and that is the one I am using on here on the gameplay footage you see. I also love the fact that this console allows me to play Genesis, Mega Drive, Nintendo, Famicom, Super Nintendo, Super Famicom, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. There is another adapter I still need to get for it, which I will hopefully get next week. And that will allow me to play Master System games, Sega Master System card games, and it will allow me to play Game Gear games. Now, when it comes to the Master System and the card games, I can actually use the power-based converter that I already own for the Genesis. I can use that on there, and that will allow me to play them also. But the adapter you can buy for it will allow you to play Game Gear games, which is really what I want to be able to do. So that is the next thing I need to get for this thing. And as for the Retron 5, you know, there are a few little drawbacks for it. Besides for the controllers that I said it comes with, which are garbage. The other thing that really is, it's nothing against the unit works great, it's the color. That ugly ass teal color of the console is butt ugly. There is no better way to explain it besides it is ugly. There is a black version of the console, but I can't complain that I got the one that has the ugly teal color on it, you know, because it works. There's no complaints there. The other thing that I did run into is, one, I do have an EverDrive cart. It does not work on this thing. It will not load the EverDrive games, the game cartridge, and it also won't do virtual racing for the Genesis. or it won't use the lock-on technology from Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles. So there are those drawbacks because it's not a physical console like the Mega Retron that I have will play all that stuff. This is actually more of an emulator. It loads the games into it. You can save the games, all that other really great stuff. So when it comes to that idea, this thing is beautiful to have. And now I just, got to sit here, play stuff. It allows me to get better recordings. And yeah, I love having this unit right now. I'll leave us one final thing that I got on my birthday. And now this one I had to order because my wife told me that I could spend so much money to order something. So I decided to go after a new controller to use basically on my computer. And I bought this one, which is not in here right now. It is from Easy SMX. It's an X15 wireless controller. And this is what it looks like. It's got the Xbox One design. It will work on the Xbox and that. So it does work on there if you need it. I wanted it for my computer. It is holograph joysticks and trigger fingers are both Hall effects, so that's really cool. I like the fact that you can turn this one off easy just by holding what would be the Xbox button up here. If you hold that for 5 seconds, it turns the controller back off. And it also has RGB. I will turn it on for a second here. So that's what it looks like if you can see it with the RGB. I know with the lighting on it's kind of hard to see, but it does work really good. It's supposed to have no drift, no dead zone, stuff like that. So I decided to test it out in a couple games here, which I'll pop up some footage of. One, I had to test it out in racing games, so I fired up Forza 5. And you'll see when Forza 5 starts here, I'm spinning the camera around, just seeing if there is a dead zone, because that's the only way I can test the dead zone, is see how far I have to move it to get it to start to spin. And then I decided to test the tires. I want to see if the tires churn quickly or what. And from what I can tell, it is very responsive. There does seem to be a slight dead zone in it, or delay. It's one of the two, because it is wireless, so you're going to see a delay and that. And then I went and I decided to, since the D-pad is more what I like, I had to test it out in the fighting games. So I loaded up the Capcom versus Marvel collection, and I decided to go play a little Marvel versus Capcom and see how the D-pad worked. That so far is the only spot where I can kind of say it's a little iffy, and it's not because it doesn't work. The D-pad works great. It's just it's a raised D-pad, and that's kind of a harder thing, so you can feel the edges a little bit. But physically wise, it was easy to pull off all the moves I want to do and everything, so it worked out great there. Then I had to test it out in one final game, which we're just going to show here real quick. It's in this collection, the EA Sports 08 collection. I love Madden 08 on this. Always have. And that's where I had to do my main testing. I had to see which way the kickoffs were done. On Xbox One controllers and Xbox Series controllers, it is not done the right way. It is supposed to be you push the right stick down and then up, and the ball gets kicked. On those controllers, it's push it to the left and then to the right, and it kicks the ball. Everything else is fine. On this controller, the new one I just got, the first time I kicked the ball, it was left to right. Then it was down and then to the right. Why that was, I don't know. And then it was down and up, but you had to do it twice. So if you're going to play an older game like Madden, I do recommend have a 360 controller on hand if you can, especially for something that uses that. But that's just my personal thing. I like playing Madden 08 still to this day, and I still play it a lot. But that was one of them I had to test it on. That's just one of those games that when I get a new controller, I have to test it. Just like if I pick up a new 8-bit Do controller or any controller for my Genesis, Mortal Kombat 1 is a game I test to see how bad the delay is on the C and the Z button. So I got a game on the PC that I always test with, and yeah, that controller failed for that game, basically. But that's the only game. That's why I have multiple controllers. Go fig. Alright everybody, that is where this video will end. Me and my little birthday presents. Like I said, if you can figure out what I said about my age being a half a century year old plus one, you're doing pretty good. But other than that, everybody, thank you for watching this video. Thank you to all my new subscribers, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.